A very warm welcome to Karlstad, Sweden. We're here for the World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship 2016. 42 teams are participating in this exciting event. We've seen some familiar faces, some new, and there's been some close-fought games and a few landslide wins. It's the second day of action as we enter the Löfbergs Arena, Karlstad's home of hockey, but this week the cottage of curling. Today's feature matchup is between Brazil and Estonia, both coming off a win yesterday. We will have a look at the standings of Group F, one of 6 groups this year. Brazil, Estonia and Scotland, and Wales picking up a win. Wales also with 1 loss. Czech Republic, Qatar and Russia failing to pick up a win so far, but many games remaining. And the group. The lineup for Brazil today is Marcelo Melo, and female is Aline Lima. Anders Kraup, the Swede, the coach for Brazil.
And the lineup for Estonia is Harry Lill and Marie Thurman. Their team coach is Brian Gray. We're also going to take a look at the rules of play. You have 2 players, 1 male and 1 female. 6 stones per team, but 1 is pre-placed. You play 8 ends and have 22 minutes of thinking time. And the players will throw either stones 1 and 5 or 2, 3 and 4. And they are allowed to switch positions in between the ends. More rules. Both players are allowed to sweep, and now holding the broom, being a skip, is optional. There are no takeouts allowed until the 4th stone of each end, which normally gets us some very aggressive curling. And finally, the new rule is 1 power play option per team per game. You can use this when you have a hammer, and when you do, the pre-placed stones will be moved out to the side so that you have a corner guard and then a stone in the rings on the T-line.
Well, they're different from the regular 4-person curling. We'll make sure to bring you through it if it's new to you. My name is Sander Ulvåg, and the rules were explained by our lovely expert, Sara Karlsson.
Thank you very much, Sander.
Looks like we're just about to get started here. And we'll see the stone colors. Brazil throwing the red stones, Estonia the yellow, and Brazil has outdrawn Estonia in pre-game practice. So they will have the last stone advantage as we start on sheet Bravo.
A really great job by Brazil. Aline Lima put her right on the button, and it was enough to get them the hammer. So here is Marie Thurman for Estonia.
So are we looking for the freeze here, or are we looking to place this anywhere different than last year?
Yeah, as you said, Sander, last year it was always the freeze. I think now with the pre-placed stone being moved a little further back, ideal would be not the freeze, but actually where Marie's just put this one, shot stone and in front of the T-line, shrinking the scoring area straight away for the team with hammer.
We will see a lot of draws into the forefoot. And for Brazil to throw the first stone is Aline Lima.
Yeah, looking for a freeze, angle freeze on this yellow, just played by Estonia. Third time that this country has represented Brazil, and I also think we're seeing a huge development from them. And that is a really, really good shot. And here is Harry Lill, male player for Estonia. His team lost out in the finals of the qualifications last year, and then won it this year in a competition of 10 teams. He said that maybe 4 teams in Estonia at the moment is seriously committed to mixed doubles play.
Não sei.
And of course, Marcelo Melo for Brazil here with the big backswing. Will look to run the guard here, trying to keep things a little more open. Now when they have the last one advantage, you might see some teams try and really work to keep scoring area a little more open. And he's made a good one here. Picks off the first guard and does move that second one over. Does definitely open up the center line.
Yeah, Estonia has a good one in there, but it's surrounded by 2 reds. So they could either guard this or come in, and then if they do come into the rings, they need to make sure that they put it in the place where both yellows won't go if Brazil makes a hit on it. Trying to get this as close to center line as possible. Covering a bit of the red stone, but I still think it's possible now for Brazil to make a play on the stones in the rings.
Talvez pouquinho menos. Acho que dá para lançar normal. Pouquinho para fora. Pouco para fora. Não, não. Não. Não, 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 não.
Just waiting for this to curl now.
Oh.
Oh.
I think he made a good shot here. He kind of spread all the reds, but ended up kicking that redstone in the forefoot. And I was certainly going further towards the wing. I think maybe a touch further out. I think it was hanging on the house though.
Yeah, I think so too, but they've elected just to leave it there. I think
maybe Estonia's happy enough that being closer to their yellow. You can make the hit and roll back. Yeah, it was definitely going further than that, but yeah, if the teams agree, it's fine.
Yeah, well, he's honest and told everyone what he did, and they agreed. So
I think it was hard. It was hard to hide what was happening.
Yep. So Estonia is going to play the takeout on this and try and sit 2. But when they're now a little closer, they need to be careful where their shooter ends up, because they don't really want to leave a double.
Okay.
Will make a hit on that stone. Kicked by Marcelo. You know, well, he is Brazilian, so they're very good at football. You have to remember.
So just a perfect little adjustment there from like a football game. We are going to see an attempt from Marcelo Melo to remove both the yellows. Just needs to catch the first one pretty thin. He'll get 2 nose. So still yellow lying shot stone and yellow about to play. So where do you need to put this now in order to avoid a multiple score for Brazil?
You're the experts, Sarah. I thought you would tell me, but you know I can give it a go. I think they might be looking I couldn't see quite the call. I guess they're playing a hit here. They don't want too many red stones lying about. I guess they could make the straight double. The one on the forefoot and the one on the back to try and at least minimize the score. And you can also make a hit and roll here in behind cover. And I think they've done maybe the worst thing they could do. And they've caught that one too high and jammed it on their own yellow stone, leaving 3 Brazilian reds in the house.
Yeah, we're not sure who's counting from the back red and the top yellow, but it's a draw for at least 3. Alina Lima just need to get this one entirely in the rings, and it's going to be a big score for Brazil in the first.
Well, she made an excellent draw yesterday to beat Wales, drew the 1 foot for the win in the extra end. So you'd think she'd be close to making this one. Although it's the first end, it can be a little tracky, and sometimes when you have that much space, you might not be thinking too much about the line. And then all of a sudden you're not throwing the same line as in practice. You find a fresh path, and it might be a little slower. But so I think important to make sure you throw the exact same line here. Last stone of the first end. You draw for 3 or possibly 4. Great start for Brazil. Not either way, and this will find its way down to the 1 foot. Perfect draw, and you'll see that's 3 reds for sure. And they might put a measure on the last one. No, there will be 4. A great start for Team Brazil after a mistake by Maria Thurman. And that really worked out for them. That is what they were looking for. 4-0 for Brazil after 1 end of play. So that's a big score of 4 up on the board for Brazil in the first end. We have 7 ends of curling left, and it's Brazil to start. So Estonia's stone will be placed in the back of the forefoot. We'll be looking for the in-turn draw, either the freeze or just maybe top forefoot here.
Yeah, that was a really unfortunate last shot from Estonia, but Brazil managed to take good advantage of it, and Alina Lima with another good draw here. Overcurls a little bit, slides a bit behind the T-line. And this will still leave some room for Estonia to come down to it. Still create some more space for them. Off this completely, so I think we're going to see it slide quite a long ways. Does hang on to the rings though, so it could maybe come into play. I think Brazil would like to come in behind the guard and stay in front of the T-line for Marcelo Melo's first shot of the second end.
Tem bastante linha, só peso. É, mas não está muito pesado, não. Eu vou manter ela andando. Ok, bastante linha, bem aberto. Bem aberto. Começou a curvar pouco. Quer ajuda? Yes.
It's got really good line,
Pretty good. Keeping that top 8 foot, kind of controlling the front of the house a little bit. It's a little harder for Estonia to get the stones in there.
Yeah, they can still come down to the shot stone, but that red one just played by Marcelo is definitely in their way a little bit. Trying to come all the way down to the red one. Big sweep. And she's done a lovely job. It is a little crowded, and I think Brazil won't mind giving up the one here.
And just put a freeze on there. Close down the scoring area for Estonia.
Yeah, even just a little short here would be okay. I think the only thing you don't want would be to come a little heavy and chip off the shot stone and then leave the path wide open for Estonia to sink another one in there.
Marcelo Mello lives in Sherbrooke, Quebec, just east of Montreal and just north of the US border of Vermont. And that's where he plays curling.
Playing it safe and guarding this, still making it a little harder for Estonia to get another one in. Might need to come from the other side now.
Isegi taga valge.
Jah, seal ei ole väga.
Kui ta jääb sinna ette pestes, teeb meile toeks, siis see on päris kinnohv midagi teha.
Jääb suund. Suund täis.
Early on the sweep here for Maria Thurman. Harry Lell just calling on her all the way down to keep this straight, to get past the guard. And remember, there's a stone top 8 as well they need to pass. And they will get onto that red stone. Tap things around a little bit. Maybe not all that bad. Leaves the shooter in the open.
Yeah, I think Brazil's going to need to do something about that yellow stone, because it's definitely very usable for Estonia to allow them to score 2.
Tá bem próximo de ser 2 e 3. Vamos ficar aqui. Se for pouquinho forte, a gente tem cão o suficiente para ir lá no botão.
Marcelo was also the commentator for curling in Brazil when the games are being broadcasted. The Vancouver Olympics. That's when curling really rose to fame in Brazil. Everyone went crazy about curling, and it was the 3rd most watched sport in Brazil after figure skating and hockey that year. So he has played a part of getting curling popular in Brazil, having been able to explain his countrymen what the curling is all about. And he is hoping that they'll be able to build a curling club somewhere in Brazil over the next 3, 4, or 5 years. There has been talk of doing so.
And he can also be very proud to have picked up the first win for Brazil ever in a World Championship. It's a nice thing to have on your resume.
Yeah, definitely.
And he plays a really good guard. It could be really hard to come out wide. It's still early in the game, and place a good guard on ice that curls a lot.
I think we saw yesterday, it seemed like when teams were taking more ice and going wider, they would be catching more fresh pebble and maybe a bit of frost, and you actually get more curl. So some players definitely having a hard time getting enough ice to actually make it not cross the center line. So going on the intern here, this might be the tap on the stone they just threw previously. I don't think they can see very much of it. They're going to have to curl past the guard here. So they can ever catch maybe half the yellow stone here and tap it in towards the forfeit. It'd be really good. But it's just going to go past everything. Maybe just a bit heavy there from Harry Lill. It's about hack weight. Only need about back 4, back 8 to make that shot. It's very easy to overthrow those a little bit. You're throwing T-line all day and then you're thinking, all right, I'm going to add 4 feet here. And then you add too much.
Yeah. I wonder, Brazil is going to guard this intern tap again now. I wonder if Estonia could ever come on the outturn, past the guard as we see it here, and maybe actually come in off the red if they have the perfect weight in line.
Well, I guess Brazil just guarding the shot they think is the easiest. And, well, Estonia did just play this, so they might have more knowledge about throwing the intern. But I agree, I think the outturn is probably there, but still pretty tough. Lena Lima lives in Yukon, White Horse, Yukon, the capital. This one just pulling up a bit short. She has a 8-sheet curling club in Whitehorse, where she plays. So they're not situated in the same place, but they are able to meet up a couple of times a year to practice together. And they did have a Brazilian national championship. It was not in Brazil, but rather in Vancouver. That did feature 5 Brazilian mixed doubles teams, where I believe all of them live in Canada, except one guy from Zurich.
That's at least a proof of growth.
Oh yeah.
First time they came here, I do not think that Brazil had another 4 teams in competition to come to Worlds. So
Well, I believe that's more than some nations. Last one of the second end for Estonia. They will play this intern tap here. Harry Lill went past everything on the previous attempt, and this one just hanging it on them again, and we'll go past everything again. Just maybe throwing a tad too much weight and having a bit too much ice, not being able to get the perfect line. And it will be 1 yellow for Estonia. And Brazil quite happy to have forced the Estonians to take their single point. They will now have last stone and a 3-point lead.
So Marie Thurman is 67%. It's quite an acceptable number for mixed doubles. I think really, really good. You're looking at somewhere in the 80s. At 67% will definitely get you a few wins. So she has a really good one again. She draws just the top of the button, which is a really, really nice place.
Well, we talked about how curling is in development in Brazil. If they could ever build a curling club and get just a tiny bit of the population of Brazil playing curling, that would be quite a lot. Imagine, well, 200 million people live in Brazil, so Could be a good or big, huge curling nation in the future. If you're able to build some facilities, of course. It is quite warm there. But if you go south, closer to Argentina, you will have a few months of winter. Rarely get below 0, but just in the plus 4 or 5 degrees down there, it'd be quite possible to have a curling rink.
So a bit of a mistake from Brazil with their first stone. Goes all the way through. And 73% is good numbers for Harilil. If he can put another one on top of the first one, they might be lined up to steal. Even though it's really early in the end, of course.
Yeah, but some really good key shots early on, though. And your opponent is really trailing this one. Pretty good, but maybe just over curling half a foot. Would have liked to line those yellows up down onto the red zone. And you'll see Brazil again with a defensive call here. A smart call, do you think, Sarah? Running off the guard, keeping things open when they're basically bailing out as early as they can here.
Yeah, I do like it, especially I think it's important to look at the scoreboard in mixed doubles as well as in regular curling. When you're 3 points up and you have hammer, get rid of the guard, try and clean it up, make sure that you don't give up a steal. And in mixed doubles, you can easily give up steals of 2 and 3 as well. So I like this call.
I think sometimes not so easy to replace a center guard in mixed doubles. So there's a good chance you might get a bit of a miscue if Estonia ever wanted to guard again. There we go. Wonder if they were actually looking to play the run back there. Just looking at the ice. But main objective will get the guard off. I'm sure Estonia is just going to throw a guard here. Throwing less weight to throw that guard. You might see the ice curl a bit differently. You'll catch a different path early on. It might curl more, less. Some of the speed might come off it as it will curl earlier with the less weight and hit a different path. See if Harilil is in control. Certainly looks pretty good here.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Maybe overcurled a tad. There's a chance for Brazil to come on that same turn and try and shuffle things around, but Brazil have again called what I believe is the run back. Well, he lives in Canada, so I'm sure he's been inspired by watching the Briar.
Yeah, if you ever want to start up curling in a new place, I guess it's good to live in the place where you can watch it and experience it the most. I think they're just going to take the guard off this time as well.
Oh, well, actually gets the shots on there. That's a great shot, actually, by Marcelo. As you'll see, the shooter rolling way off the center line, really opening things up and relieving Brazil of some pressure here by taking off one of the Yellowstones in the forefoot. And the good old backswing working to his benefit so far.
Yeah, definitely, and even rolled out quite a ways.
So Estonia playing a tap, I believe. Just going to come to the face of their Yellowstone, try and tap it down onto the red stone frozen. Well, this is a bit of a tough shot. You don't have to miss this by much to leave a simple double for Brazil. This one maybe just coming up a bit short. And I believe that does leave a double for the Brazilians.
Yeah, and it's just down the same way that Marcel's been throwing them his past 2 shots.
Will nose hit do the job here? Does he need to get a hair low on the center line side to avoid the jam?
I think nose hit will be okay, but hair low would definitely be the way to error. Nose hit might actually catch the red one as well, though.
Menos ainda.
Yeah, they're just taking a little less ice to make sure that they get to the right side. Can't really error wide, sorry.
I guess even if they catch it a bit narrow and don't get the double, but keep the shooter in play, it will put some pressure on Estonia. This one having some curling to do, and will catch it high side, and that was, again, maybe not the tolerance for that shot. Leaves 1 yellow in the forefoot. Everything else will fly out the side doors.
Võitan kuskil ees pesas, siis see on ka okei.
No ma tegelikult oleks ka hea, kui ta ise täpiks, see täpikivi läks taha sinise näiteks.
Jah, taha full sinine, sellest piisab.
Are we throwing a guard here or putting this one into the rings?
I'd say both would be good options. Maybe if you want to steal, they could put up a guard and leave a draw to full forefoot.
I think if this was a regular curling game, throwing the guard's a bit risky, because if you show a piece, you'll let the other team blank the end, but blanking in mixed doubles doesn't really do much because you won't get to keep the last of the advantage. As this stone just slipping all the way through the house, and I think Brazil just going to have to take their 1 point here. Again, you lose the hammer by blanking, so you might as well take the 1 point. That's one of the reasons why you want to keep maybe cautious aggression in curling games, even when you're up with last stone. So you'd like to maybe score a couple, since you have to score anyway.
Yeah, there's no point in keeping it too open and to just think that you can go for the blank. You might as well try and go for your deuce.
But always keeping the opportunities to score, as they will, but they'll roll out, so we'll have a blank in, and that's quite rare, actually. I have not seen that so far. I'm sure it might have happened yesterday or this morning, for that matter. But no score in the third end, so that leaves us at 4 shots to 1 for Brazil still. So we have played 3 ends. The blank just not put up on the board quite yet. But the total score is correct. 4 shots to 1 for Brazil as we enter the 4th end of play. And I believe we should take our time here to maybe update you on the other scores in the Löfbergs Arena. And I believe Sarah will do that for us.
Yes, I've been waiting for this. Hungary, reigning world champions, got a good grip on Belgium. They're up 7-1. Poland has a 3-1 lead playing Slovakia. And Latvia is up 2-1 playing Bulgaria. Finally, China is up 4-1 playing Italy.
This draw from Brazil, just over curling a tad.
Yeah, finds the T line, but not the best line. As Marie Thurman can come on to this, free sit, nose her a little bit to the inside.
We'll end up tapping and just to back the forfeit. It's pretty good there.
She's been really solid with her first shots of every end. So Marcelo Melo threw 3 peels in end number 3, and now he's going to need to take a deep breath and play a nice freeze.
Pode estar forte, talvez. É, tá pouco forte. Dá pra bater na vermelha e na amarela?
Vai. Não.
Well, I think this proves your point just a wee bit here, Sarah. Having played 3 peels on the previous end, sometimes it is hard to adjust and find the draw weight. This one coming up all heavy.
I also think it's actually a little more difficult in mixed doubles play because you have less stones to go by and tell you what the ice is doing, and you don't have your sweepers and less input on draw weight.
Okay, yeah.
I think Estonia is just going to play the draw again, outturn draw, try and maybe come top 12 foot, top 8 foot, and just create a big line behind the center guard of yellow stones.
Okei, see on päris aeglane. Vaatame, et läheb sinna välja ikka. Vaatad.
And they've done a great job again. I think Brazil's gonna, they might need to try and bail now. They are looking at the freeze to the top, to the yellow, that's top of the button. It's probably still going to leave Estonia sitting too, so they're going to need this to be absolutely perfect. There's not a lot of room for error. So if they ever roll out, Estonia can just keep covering it up or roll back in.
If you heard the old beeps there, that was Maria Thurman's stopwatch. She has on the broom. Do some split times in between different lines. For example, this blue line that you have to release your stone before, the hog line. You can do hog to hog, and we'll give you a decent grasp of how quick the ice is. We're looking around 14 seconds, and everything between 14 and 15 seconds yesterday. I'm just slipping, again, a little too far for Marcelo Melo. Bounce his own red stone. This could be a huge end for Estonia here.
Ja, kui see on siin, siis kui ta lööb, siis läheb kõik 3 punast. Ta ei saa seda
isegi
lüüa
kui see läheb, siis meil jäävad 2 tükki alles siia.
Ma arvan küll.
Ja pluss siis see kivi jääb ka alles.
Seal peaks olema suht safe.
Ja, see on see pesa nii-öelda neil.
Yeah, and they also have the last stone because the previous end was blanked.
punane kolmveerand kivis friis.
Sitting 2 at the moment.
laiem suund kui eelmine.
And Harry has played some really good draws down this path, so I guess he just needs to hit repeat.
Kiire ei ole?
Kolmannes on kiirem.
Jah, tundub mega kiire mulle.
Kiirus jah.
Suuna pärast oleks vaja ääret.
Kiirus.
Kiirus kindel, jah?
Jah.
Okei, ainult kiirus. Suund! Jep, suund! Oota, vaata nüüd korra.
I just need his to curl. Won't quite be enough for third shot, but it's a really good one.
Lasin natuke otsaks ärata sulle.
It's a quick call by Mello. Just want to draw into the pocket of those yellow stones in the top 4. Might not be better than third shot. That could be a bit of a setup too. So he's played 2 heavy draws. Just needing to just calm down a little bit.
Yeah, and most important, he also needs, well, while calming down, needs this to curl a little more and find the good line.
Minha tá melhor, só peso. Só peso.
Need the inside of the yellow one just played by Harry.
Mas me parece que o peso tá pouco melhor. Só peso. Só peso.
I'm not touching this. Kind of leaving it all the way down. We'll just get to the inside of that yellow. But now Estonia lying 3.
Não é muito fácil de ser removida, né?
So either a couple of feet heavy or
Curvado.
a bit too much ice.
Ta ilmselt lööb seda, aga sellega ei saa midagi.
Nad ei saa, seepärast see on selle küljest. Kui seda lööb, selle kollal läheb tagumistesse. Meil tekib mingi parem löök siit poolt.
See, kui ta teeb selle, see on ka okei.
Jah, pigem õrnemalt.
Aga samas ta on nii peidus, seda ei saa otse tappida.
Jah. Saame ainult nurga vastu tulla.
Kui ta jääb isegi ette kaitses, on okei.
Sellest punasest tal ei ole mingit lööki peale selle ühe kollase.
Jah, aga siis see kollane jääb ka sinna ju. Taga on punane.
Jah. Väike täpselt üle kollase.
Jah, kaitse on okei. Kolmaines on kiire.
Now going to try and promote the top yellow.
Roomi palju. Suund. Tundub väga aeglane.
Tõmbab kinni.
Jep, suund.
First of all, it's really important to get by the guard.
I believe this is pulling up a bit short here. I'm just going to tick off the guard.
Well, the important thing was not to move the guard too much and leave a takeout down the center line.
Vamos andar de line. Tipo, back 4. Esse peso que eu tenho lançado. Ok.
So,
Talking
talking about T-line, I think in the end they're going to throw about back 4. They need to make sure to at least get third shot here, though. But they need to have enough weight to actually to move the red stone, or the yellow rather, far enough to get third.
Maybe changing the call here and just trying to get... Do you think they did enough?
I'm not quite sure, Sarah. I think Estonia is still lying 3.
And well, Estonia has guarded the intern side pretty much.
Well, maybe they're thinking they're only lying 2. I believe the intern draw is still there, though. Just straight draw to the forefoot.
Yeah, I think so too. I think. Are they talking about trying to push that yellow one in a little bit? That looks dangerous.
Yeah, it does look dangerous. If you ever overcurl, you click the red stone.
Yeah, score 1.
Well, what is the call in the end? We shall see.
They were also talking about what you said, Sander, just come in and draw, straight draw it to the forefoot. That looks like the safest and the easiest call.
We'll see how Maria Turman will angle up her stone in the hack.
Yeah.
It's an in-turn. Holding the handle at a 10 o'clock position means we're throwing an in-turn. Draw to the forefoot to score possibly 3 or 4. We'll see. There might be a measure on here. Either way, last stone of the fourth end. This one's hanging a bit wide. I think she had perfect weight there. Just too much ice. Would never make it into the forefoot. And there you go. 2 for sure.
You can take the other ones?
They'll measure for the third point.
Not this one?
We measured.
Yeah.
Measure.
I do believe we have more measures in mixed doubles curling than any other format of curling.
That would make sense with all the play to the forefoot. It's normally quite crowded in there when the end is over. So again, it's umpire Maria Davidsson coming out to do the measure.
Oops, here we go. First the red and then the yellow. It looks really yellow, doesn't it? And it will be yellow, so that will be a score of 3 for Estonia, as both teams now entering the half-time break after 4 ends of play. We'll have a chance to talk to their coach. There's Brian Gray for Estonia. Anders Kraup would be the coach for Brazil.
Game again.
The middle of the second.
And we'll be back with some highlights for you and the remainder of the game shortly.
Since the second end, you're out playing them, so if it continues like that, you won't have a problem. They're starting to make a few misses now, which is good. They didn't miss much in the first end, so just keep going. It's not as extreme maybe as the thought on hits. There doesn't seem to be a. It's not falling off. Yeah,
Like they did on the
exactly. Yeah, and maybe just a bit sharper with the switching. Like there, I mean, halfway up it just had tons of weight, and then you just need to focus.
in the first end in the game between Brazil and Estonia. It's a big mistake by Estonia with their final stone, and Brazil has a draw for 4 in the first end to get them off to a really great start. And then in the second end, it was Marie Thurman for Estonia with the possibility of scoring 2 with a difficult tap. It's got a little too much weight and it'll go right by. Estonia picking up their single point in the second end. And in the fourth end, it was Estonia sitting 2 for sure. And Marie Thurman tried to put this on the tee line on the forefoot. It's got great weight, but it won't curl quite enough. So 2 for sure, and it would be a measure for the third point, which was also yellow. So Estonia scores 3, and we have a tied game after 4 ends of play.
We'll see the 100. It's Swedish Curling Federation turning 100 years this year.
Yes, we are.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Started in 1916, the Swedish Curling Association.
Curling was introduced to Sweden long before that.
Yes, that's true.
I believe it dates back to 1846.
You're well read up on your facts, Sander, which I appreciate, of course.
And Sweden was one of 3 nations that participated in the first official Olympics in Chamonix in 1924, alongside the UK and France. Finished second.
Yeah, curling definitely goes back a long time in Sweden. And also in Karlstad, who hosted their first World Championship in 1977. And the arena was just next door to this one.
I believe Sweden won that year.
They did.
Yeah, Sweden have a tendency to win at home. Had the Europeans 4 years ago here in the same arena. Niklas Edin won for Sweden. I believe the Worlds were held in Gävle, Sweden, 2004, where Pia Lindholm picked up a win there.
Yeah, I guess it's nice to play with the support of the home crowd.
We'll see if how Sweden will get on this week. Per Norén and Camilla Johansson, the 3-time silver medalists. We were able to watch them on the broadcast yesterday. But now it's all about Brazil and Estonia on sheet B. And that's Lima with an in-turn draw here. Just over curling it out. We'll bounce off that yellow stone. It's all tied up at 4 here. But an interesting game. Brazil off to a great start, scoring 4 in the first end, but Estonia clawing back with a single in the second and a steal of 3. Sorry, a score of 3 rather.
Harry Lill had some really nice draws in the fourth end. He's going to try and sink one in on the tee line. If he could get this buried behind the red-yellow combination here, it could be absolutely perfect. Looks like he's got a little too much weight. He'll get it in for shot stone. Still leave the button available for Brazil. And again, Marcelo Melo and Alina Lima not really happy with the setup in the rings. They're going to go for the bail option. I think this is the run back called. and clean things up in the forefoot.
Yep, yep.
And he will get things moving. I think Brazil now sit in second shot.
Pelo menos tirou uma deles ali do perigo.
And the shooter is still on the center line though, so there's still a guard. Harilil can draw around this once more.
Talvez, dependendo do que ele fizer aí, é vir com peso de hack, que nem a gente estava treinando. Com a vassoura fechada, se bater na guarda abre. Se acertar, tira dele. É que ele deve querer botar uma outra aqui pra lá.
Kiire mulla. Ainult siis, kui kindel kiirus.
Se on aikaisem kuin minä.
Siis sarjas. Jääb kiirus. Kiirus. Vaatas.
Some great sweeping action from the pair. Brings that top 8. Philly Barrett in behind the guard.
Still Brazil with second shot though. But it's not easy to get to the shot stone.
A gente é shot 2.
É, shot 2. Essa daqui é
It's hard work mixed doubles. You throw the draw and then you have to sweep it maximum yourself all the way.
Pouquinho mais ainda. Mas esse não é shot fácil, né?
É, porque tem aquela
And
ali.
here you see the coach for Brazil, Anders Kraup.
Você pode tentar isso aqui de novo, mas eu não sei se
And
vai.
he's actually sitting behind the image of himself as an alternate with Peja Lindholm.
Mas desse lado,
He's also been a very successful coach with the Russian junior girls.
And there he is, way on the left in the back there in the black and white. Anders Kraup.
É só deixar uma.
It's a nice backdrop for him.
Porque tu acha que dá pra fazer esse draw?
Here's Brian Gray,
Mas não é draw
coach
fácil.
for Estonia.
é aqui,
The
então.
Scot, he's been he's coaching all different kinds of nations in the past, including Italy, Latvia, Turkey, Czech Republic, Switzerland. So it's a well-experienced coach.
Vai. Tá na guarda. Vai.
He's going to end up tapping the guard. Well, he's ticking off that Yellowstone top 8 and will sit in the open.
Asia on paremmin.
And a chance for Estonia to make a little hit and roll off that stone. Wheels sort of coming off for Brazil after having scored that 4 in the first end. Haven't seemed quite as in control since then.
Varmaan kyllä.
Estonia with a great chance to put some real pressure on the Brazilians.
Nousen hea rollan paremmin.
Oota. Sund! Wow! Sund! Wow! Oota! Kauka.
And she'll just end up with the nose hit here.
Veits üleval siin harjuta.
Still not in a bad spot. Ideal would have been a little roll in, maybe to sit 2, but
Acho que dá. Vamos,
it's
olha, dá pra passar
still
desse meio, não é
pretty
fácil,
difficult
mas dá pra
for
Você
passar.
quer mandar hack mesmo?
É.
Marcelo Melo to get one in there.
Tu acha que tá bom essa vassoura? Talvez um pouquinho mais só. Aí.
2 shots left for Brazil to get a shot stone in if they want to score.
Looks like he's going to try and wiggle through those 2 yellows don't stop 8. Thought he could play maybe even more weight here, and maybe can almost make a little takeout, open it really up, and maybe squeeze through. But he's playing a softer weight.
Não tá curvando ainda, não tá
This looks to
curvando.
be hanging wide.
Bem para fora.
I don't
bem pra
think
fora.
it's going to be anywhere near the
Bem pra
hole
fora.
here. Not even sure if that was the plan, seeing how that result panned out. They've actually made that roll for Estonia now.
Talvez fosse melhor
And
não ter,
they're in real trouble now.
I don't know how they're going to score.
para não curvar tanto não, para
Não, que não curvasse nada.
You might just need to do a little damage control with their last.
O que tem aí para o próximo?
So, final stone for Estonia in the 5th end. I think Marie Thurman can be quite happy with just a guard here.
Sunden her.
Kiitos, ja.
Sund. Sund. Oh, Sund her.
Kiitos, Veits.
Or if they're even tapping this one in to become an even better shot stone. It's a really nice job.
Oh, wow. Oh, making things really difficult for Team Brazil.
Tuli päris hästi see täppi kinni.
Jaa, lõi ikka väga hästi selle kinni.
Nagu kuhu sa asetad
Down to the last stone here.
Ja kui sa lööd, siis on ka...
They seem to have called something.
Não vejo mais nada.
Are they looking to draw on the outturn for 3rd shot, perhaps? Well, looks like what they're doing. Trying to come through the hole on the left-hand side here and just try and get it to the forefoot and cut Estonia down to a steal of 2. Or maybe not. Or maybe yes. Just looking at the broom here, it's going back and forth a wee bit. Certainly does look like a draw on the outturn. So last stone of the 5th end didn't quite pan out like Team Brazil was hoping it would do.
Peso me parece ok, talvez seja só pouquinho pesado.
Not really touching it so far. Now on the sweep, might be close. And now actually over curling and will punch that yellow one into the forefoot. How many will it be? It will be 3. A steal of 3 for Estonia. They've really turned this game around. Having given up 4 in the 1st end, they now lead the game 7 shots to 4 after 5 ends of play. And I believe that was Brazil telling the umpires that they want their power play. So we'll back with power play on the 6th end shortly. And that's how quick our breaks are. We'll be back in action already, and Brazil have put up their power play to try and snag back a few points. The score is 7 shots to 4 for Estonia. Just having not put the score up on the board in the other end quite yet. And I believe the call here is to tick the corner guard for Estonia, and they have been able to do so. Maybe it doesn't tick it as far as they were hoping for. They're probably wanting to push that stone maybe top 12 and try and roll the shooter out of play. But certainly does open up that red stone, so not a bad effort, I think.
No, definitely not. It's a tricky shot to make. but I think teams seem to be controlling it better and better. Still that guard in play though, so Alina Lima is going to be a draw behind it with her first. I think if you play your power play really smart, it's a great way to get set up to score 2 and maybe even 3. She's got good line, just needs a little help to get in the rings, and she's got it there, top 12 foot. Estonia still not allowed any takeouts.
Siit on paremini näha lihtsalt veits.
Kus liikuks üle, mis kollas?
Ma ei taha sinna ette jääda mingi kivi küll.
Aga splitiks niimoodi, et see kivi nagu minu esimene oleks olnud, aga üritame välja saada ja see läheks platsi. Kui ta otse täpib, siis ta täpib lihtsalt vastu ja tahab pessa selle punase.
Okei. Sunt. Wow. Ülikauge. Peab pöörama. Peab pöörama kõvasti veel. Peab pöörama kõvasti veel. Peab pöörama.
Oh, gets a little tickle off the top, Red. Just kind of pinballing through, and we'll end up shot stone at the back of the 8 foot. I don't think that's quite what they're looking for, but it was certainly fun to watch.
So close to the guard. Actually, yeah, shot stone and then behind cover as well. See, Marcelo Melo's going to try and come to that, maybe even tap it out or back.
Linha tá ok. Vai! Oh, olha, dá uma olhada.
That's going to catch the guard. Punch that yellow into the rings. Just far enough, I think, to lie second and third shot for Brazil.
Yeah, but not ideal to get rid of the guard in that situation when they had the chance to sit 3 instead.
Você até podia ter jogado pouco mais de peso para tirar mesmo.
Mas tinha pouco mais, eu não esperava que ela curvasse tanto, que foi no mesmo canto aqui que a gente jogou as outras e que não curvava nada.
Seal läks üle nüüd. Ma läheks selle paremalt. 8,5 seest välja. Ta võib päris palju pöörata.
So Harry is going to try and come to the best of the red ones. Going out on the wings. I think he maybe gave this a little extra curl, and Marie is on it. And oh, they're going to catch the guard, and also unlucky to peel out their own shot stone.
Oh, it's a bit of a disaster right there.
Ou deixar aí aberto, botar aqui, pode ser. Mais no canto do...
That is unlucky, but it was not a good throw, first of all.
No, I definitely think he made that go a little bit out of his hand.
So a great chance for Brazil to draw to the opposite wing here and try and lie 3, keep the reds as separated as possible.
It would be great for Brazil if they could get their 3 and tie things up. Remember, Estonia still has their power play left. So they could use it right back in the 7th end.
Você quer dar split? Como é que tá de peso? Como é que tá de peso? Dá uma olhada.
This is maybe not bending as much as they were hoping for. And I believe that will leave a double, and perhaps even a triple.
Yeah, I think they could make all the reds go.
Catch the top one about, what are we looking at? Third? Ish?
Third-ish. Be good.
You might get all of them going if you can throw enough weight.
Kumba pidi sa teed seest välja või välja
teed
sisse?
ikka seest välja.
Okei.
Või tegelikult teeme see välja siis. See pöörab räigelt seest välja. Yep,
We'll throw the out turn at this.
Ülikauge.
Gonna have to catch it quite thin, maybe even a quarter. This will not do that though. We'll catch it quite thick. A roll frozen onto the other one, but I believe Brazil's still lying 2. Seemed, for me, it felt more natural to throw the in turn at it, but
Well, he just threw the in turn to come behind the guard and wasn't too successful, so maybe just feel like he's more comfortable with the out turn rather than crossing the center line there.
I think what he has done here is just staggered the 2 stones top 12. That could be a savior for Estonia if they ever were wanting to come around them. So it looks like Brazil trying to beat them to it.
Yep, important, really important now to stay fairly high up in the rings. Make sure you don't leave Estonia just a freeze to get out of the trouble here. And this one's, yeah, need to grow some teeth.
This is flying through the house. Just about hack weight there. That's a missed opportunity. It's Estonia looking at the hit here rather than the draw. Could just hit the opener one on the wing, concede 2, and they'd be off by 1. Still with a power play left. Might seem like a reasonable call. You could also draw around these 2 stones, and if you make a good draw, pretty much guaranteed a steal or a force. I guess when you're 3 up, maybe make the easier call, the more defensive one, the safer one. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Just looking at the scoreboard, they're up by 3, and if they still have, they've made Brazil use their power play. So if they just make the one go, use their power play in the next, I think it's going to be looking really good for them.
Well, it does look like they are making a hit on the stone on the wing. Maybe even trying to make the roll here with the up weight as a bonus. Oh, this is really close to making a perfect roll. There we go. Really good shot by Maria Thurman. It will lie for shot stone. Almost buried in between those 2 stone top 12. That was an excellent throw. It was hard to make it very much better. It definitely leaves a tougher shot for Brazil to score there too. As you can see, only about a third of that stone popping out on the left-hand side. I think it's definitely those kind of hack weight shots that we've seen missed the most this week. So coming on the in turn here to tap this one out to score 2. It's not the easiest one.
No hack board weight shots. You normally depend quite a lot on your sweepers. So throwing them all by yourself, leaving yourself very little room for error.
Yes, Ravinha.
Last stone of the 6th end for Brazil to score 2 here and tighten the score line. Really working this to get past the guard. I'm not sure if they'll get there. They'll end up tapping the yellow. And that's just one of many disaster shots in this end. As Estonia will pick up another steal, this time steal of 2 points. And they're really taking a strong hold of the game. Now up 9 shots to 4 after 6 ends of play.
Mas eu acho que dá para ter mandado, talvez até
não, eu achei que tu não via nada. Se tu via, porque
So you'll see the scoreline, 9-4 here on Sheet B in the Löfbergs Arena. We're here for the World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship 2016. The first game on the broadcast of the second day of play is Brazil-Estonia. I'd like to mention that we will have Scotland playing the Czech Republic later this afternoon. And also USA will take on Spain this evening. So lots of curling action today. Maria Thurman will start the 7th end here. Looking to maybe freeze the red stone back of the forfeit, pre-positioned. And we'll definitely get to the red stone. And we'll tap it to the back 12. Not sure if you want to tap it too far though. I guess you're kind of opening up the scoring area for the team that has last stone.
Yes, you will by tapping it too far. But it's be interesting to see the tactics now, because it's the team without hammer that's up by a total of 5 points. So Brazil really, and they've also used their power play, so they really need to make good use of every single stone now. Well, sticks that shooter in the rings as well. Estonia can still come around with a draw here. But it might not be so bad that this is a little spread out.
Well, we have another few games out in the arena today. I feel like this is a good chance for us to update you on the scores. Sarah?
Yes, I most certainly can. I can tell you that China seems to be out-curling Italy. They have a 6-2 lead, and a lot of stones in the rings belonging to Team China. It's a tied game between Latvia and Bulgaria, 6 each. And it's also a tied game between Slovakia and Poland. They're at 4 each. And finally, Hungary is up 14-1 against Belgium, and that game is also over. Hungary flying through their first 2 games so far.
Well, they are 2 times World Mixed Doubles champions. Zsoltkis and Dorothea Palancha. They will be one of the favorites coming into this event. Even though we have 42 teams, it's quite tough to pull through.
Yeah, definitely 6 groups. It's a lot of games going on.
Yeah, but for the teams, they don't play that many games. There's so many teams involved. Each team are only playing about a game a day, more or less. 7 teams per group, equals to 6 games per team in the round-robin stages, or the group stages, rather. Now Brazil just failing to put any pressure on Estonia, just leaving them the simple shots, leaving the shooter fully in the open here.
Yeah, and by hitting this, Estonia will be sitting 3. So it'll be tough for Brazil to make their 2 back reds come into play and count.
Oota. Oota. Sund. Sund. Wow, oota. Eikä kaukana.
Does make 2 red stones fly, and we'll sit 3.
Täpselt nagu mõni ent tagasi muidugi otse pähe.
And now I think the freeze is called by Brazil. So Marcelo Melo need to find this draw weight. He's been struggling a little bit to find the T-line. More accurate with hits in this game. Really needs it now because they need to pick up a couple of points if this game is going to go on.
Esse não me parece ruim, não.
Minha tá ok. Vai, 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 vai.
Trying to hold this and get it past the guard. And I think he's going to crash. Really not putting a lot of pressure at all on Estonia. They look pretty relaxed out there.
Ümber selle punase ja kui me saaksime keskele sinna tunnelisse veits ettepoole küll.
Suht palju pöörab nii, et ära segas. Igaks üks sealt Tarja kohe. Ma arvan mingi 9-5-3.
Tundub aeglane, jah? Oh, kui aeglane.
I'm really working hard for the sweep here, coming all wider. Might be a little more fresh out here. I really reckon this one to get it into the top of the 8. Great sweep. He deserved high five.
Yeah, that's some good teamwork. Enough to sit 4 and makes the run back a little trickier as well. Marcelo, Melo. Is there a hole that you can come through? I think so, yeah.
It's quite snug. Pretty snug to make it on your own. Definitely there, but you might get a little more curl after passing the hole though, so you might, even if he makes it, might roll off a little bit. First objective, get through, and then we'll see. This one will be hanging wide, and I will be catching that yellow fairly thick and run it into the house, but it is Estonia still lying 4.
Yeah, and we're down to last stones. I think Estonia can just try and cover the middle up here. Make it pretty much impossible again for Brazil to score.
See pöörab räigelt, sa lähed sinna nuppu peale. Sa põrgad saame või?
Ja see põrkab, aga see peab pöörama.
Okei. Ta lööb väga kõvasti. Okei, pole hullu.
A little bit heavy, but ends up sitting 5.
Control, para curvar pouquinho mas não ser loucura.
Definitely a hole now for Brazil, and they're going to have to make good use of it if they want to have a chance in the game. Score 1 here, you'll still be trailing by 4, but at least there's at least hope.
Tá bom assim?
It's mathematically possible.
Pouquinho menos, você acha?
A bit of a miscue here, and the game is effectively over.
But it's a fairly straightforward nose hit.
It's in a World Championship, though, to keep your hopes alive in very important games, Sarah.
Yeah, of course, there's always the mental aspect of having to throw this as well.
Sounds pretty close. We'll see where this ends up. There we are. Perfect nose hit to sit in the 1 foot to score 1 for Brazil. So after 7 ends of play, Estonia still leading, but now with 4 points, 9 shots to 5. There we go. Estonia has chosen to use their power play, and it is the last end of the game, so it's a good time to use it. So this would be more of a defensive power play from Estonia, as very often you'll see they use the power play to generate a big score a 3, maybe a 4, to get some points up on the board. But now with a 4-point lead, it's more Estonia keeping the center open and just being able to make sure they can score to win the game. Is that correct?
That would be absolutely correct, and it's a smart call too. Get away from the situation where you have a center guard and some backing for the team trying to steal. Brazil needing a steal of 4 to win this game.
And we'll see Brazil just draw to the forfeit, knowing full and well that Estonia would not allow to remove that stone from play. But I think I'd be tempted to maybe throw a center guard here, or even throw a corner, trying to get some stones in behind and at least force Estonia to make a shot against potentially 4. Because throwing it to the rings here, you'll see Estonia just tap it back, and they've made an excellent shot. If they tap that out of play, the stone would have been replaced. So they've done exactly what they were hoping to do there. Tap it far enough to sit 2, and everything's in the open.
Yeah, I think you are going to need a guard or 2 if you want to steal as many as 4 to force an extra end. But then again, you don't have so many stones, and you're also going to need a few in the rings.
Só peso. Só peso. Sem linha. Vai, 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 vai. Curvando agora. Curvando bastante. Curvando.
Well, that does make it to the rings, so it could prove tough now to steal 4.
või seda kindla peale või?
Seda või? Miks sa kaitset puutud üldse?
Yeah, they have three stones left.
Prooviks vist vaiksega sinna taha mängida. Välja täpselt.
1 in the rings.
Okay.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that if Estonia didn't throw any of their stones remaining, they'd still win. I think it'd be hard for Brazil to generate 4 with 3 red stones thrown consecutively right here. But so again, my point is Estonia doesn't really have to overcomplicate this.
No, being up by this much and the way it's looking, just get rid of whatever red you can see, and you're probably going to win the game.
Probably just even draw here and see what they're looking to do. Just peel that tight center guard. Looks like they will draw.
Yep.
To just put all their stones into the house. It'll be really hard for Brazil to get them all out and split that stone into the rings. That's just outside the top 12. They might be coming after the red stone at the back, actually.
Yeah, and we'll do a great job.
Excellent shot. And that was the best call. And now
Brazil has 3 stones yet to play, so they would need to split that into the rings and also make it out count the 3 yellows.
I'm hoping I'll at least make a good shot here before having to concede the game. Is this when you do your circus shot, your 360 slide or your backflip?
If I wasn't too scared I'd fall over, then I would.
Marcelo Mello staying composed.
Pra fora.
Looking to play a little hit and roll, little tap.
Não, precisa curvar mais. Precisa curvar bem mais.
Kind of hanging out there at the moment. Starting to curl now. We'll catch a piece of the yellow, but it might just spin out of play. It will. That's going to make it very hard for Brazil to win. But what I was saying earlier, what team's not playing that many games, I think they're just keen on staying on the ice to throw. I think we might see a lot of that all week.
Yeah,
the team saying, well, this is the morning draw. We don't have a game until 9 o'clock tomorrow. We might as well throw if you get to know the ice better. How many things are there to do in Karlstad?
Plenty, of course.
Okay.
But none as fun as curling, though. So.
And I believe the curling club is available, is busy with the World Senior Curling Championships.
I'd say it's very busy, 26 men's teams and 17 women's teams. It'd be hard to get a sheet for practice.
You might have to move to another town to be able to do so. Estonia will draw to the house, and now we'll see. Marcelo Mello. What can you create here? What can you do? What kind of magic tricks were you going to pull out? How many rabbits is in your hat?
Well, they are going to need to rely on Estonia actually tapping 2 red guards into the rings.
I believe we're playing a little hit and roll of sorts. Now, if this rolls out, it will be mathematically impossible for Brazil to win, but it will hit and stick. As Lima just almost tumbling over there, tripping on one of the stones on the back line. Now, call me crazy, but I think this might be the last stone of the game.
I would never call you crazy, Sander.
Oh, that's nice. Avril might have the chance to kill the game right here. Just hit this red stone in the house. There will not be enough red stones for Brazil to tie up the game unless they think they can bring that stone the back line into play. No, he makes the double, so there we are. Game is over. It was an interesting one. Brazil scored 4 in the first end, but after that was all Estonia as they win 9 shots to 5. What did you make of that, Sarah?
Well, I just think Estonia was a lot more accurate with their draws and angles, managed to put the stones in the right place, and Brazil just not being able to catch up to that this morning. So Estonia wins it 9-5, and Sander's going to make his way down to get you an interview with Estonia, and we are also going to give you some highlights of this game.
There's 2 stones left.
controle, eu concordo. O bunker talvez fosse um pouco arriscado, o backdoor, da um, tem que make sure que você é normal, tá? O nosso nível tem que ser um ponto, assim, uma coisa controlada, sem ser uma bomba, mas com uma boa velocidade, né? Que aí tem um pouco mais de... Por exemplo, se aquela um segundo menos, ela teria que levar um pouco mais e ainda não teria ido tão longe, porque ela não bateu assim longe do centro, mas ela
And here we are with the highlights of the game between Brazil and Estonia. In the first end, it was a big miss by Estonia with their last stone, and Alina Lima able to draw the house for a huge score of 4, and they take the lead in the first end. And in the second end, it was Estonia lying one, and Marie Thurman has a tricky tap to try and get their juice, but they can't really get this to curl enough, and Estonia will pick up a score of 1. Still trailing Brazil by 3 points after 2 ends. In the fourth end, it was again Estonia, this time sitting 2 for sure, and Marie Thurman needs to draw a full forefoot. She's got some good weight, but this one needs to curl. You can't quite get it to bend enough. So 2 for sure.
2 for sure.
And then they got the umpire out for a measure to let them know that it was a score of 3. So we have a tied game after 4 ends.
We're starting.
And in the fifth end, it was Alina Lima for Brazil that had a really tough draw to cut down Estonia to only steal 2. And she will over curl this, tap the yellow one in, and it's a big turnaround in the game. Estonia steals 3, and they're up 7-4. And in the sixth end, Brazil used their power play, and they had a hack weight shot to score 2. Over curls this, and unfortunate enough actually taps that yellow one in, so instead it'll be a steal of 2 for Estonia. And they will go ahead to a 9-4 lead after 6 ends. And it was trouble again for Brazil in the 7th end. 5 Estonian counters as Alina Lima went to throw her last. But this one she makes absolutely perfect and gets 1 point. And they're now trailing Estonia by 4 points before the 8th and final end of the game, where Estonia managed to run Brazil out of stones by this takeout by Harilil. You see, the red one goes away. Not enough stones for Brazil to catch up in the game, and handshakes right there. Estonia will pick up their 2nd win, and Brazil will now be on 1-1. We're going to give you an interview with the Estonian team, and if you join us again at 2:30 local time here in Karlstad, we're going to bring you the game between Scotland and Czech Republic.
So we gave up a score of 4 in the first end. What were you thinking after that happened?
Well, we saw that it was obviously one of the worst ends we've had, and we just had to bite back. Had to pull ourselves together.
It was like all Estonia after the first end. What did you do differently?
We just focused.
Yeah, well, as I said, the first end wasn't our best. We pulled ourselves together after that. Next ends were much better. We weren't totally happy, but still we played our average game.
What's the biggest challenge for the teams this week, do you think?
I guess, first of all, getting used to the ice. It's good ice, we really like it. Lots of curl, good speed. So getting used to the conditions in the ice and just handling the pressure, I guess.
So winning against Brazil today, what's the next step? What are you thinking? What's the ambitions for the week and the future?
Well, obviously we want to get through the group, right? So, but for that we need to win lots of more games. Have to keep focused, play better first ends maybe, and then just get some rest and play the next games. Have fun.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.